But if you fail the first time, then they come back again. If you don't make up whatever they ask you to do, you go back again, and that's what may happen.
You are in a public, in a private university in Nigeria. Do you have departments that you can say they are doing everything to ensure accreditation is received and sustained? Because I guess they do. Your department, for example, do you have to go through a process of review of the accreditation that was given to that university at inception?
Every five years, once you give accreditation in Nigeria university, they will come back again and revisit to ensure that you are sustained whatever you sustained.
Yeah.
So in my department also, we just had one last year, November, which we got accreditation for all my 3 programs, ILD.
What kind of things do they ask for?
What they
Political
ask for,
science, for example.
what they ask for, one, they will look at the staff strength. That is the number of staff that you have. What are their qualifications? That is, how many pages do you have? How many of these do you have? Are you bottom heavy? Are you bottom light? And in those places, they must have X number of professors. X number
How
of
many
lecturers.
professors do you have in
my department, I have
science?
about 5.
5 professors.
5 professors in political science department. And it's still based now, we have to compare that to the number of students that you have. I think I have almost 600 students combined together for all the programs. So they do that ratio before they do accreditation. 2, they look at the curriculum. Is it in line with what the NUC laid down for you to go by? If it's not, then you have some problem with that. 3, teaching materials, the aids and stuff like that, are they imparted? Then also 4, the number of classrooms that you have, the capacity of which you shouldn't have up to that, either 900 or not for students. You cannot even cope with that one. NUC will look at that also. And look at the environment generally, a place of worship, a place of where you can play or do some other recreational facilities. And they look at your library, which is very, very essential. If you fail the library, as for it and the staff again, you fail everything. So you must make sure that you have enough materials to teach your students.
So
The universities still have libraries, Professor?
The library?
Do they have libraries?
They have library.
Okay.
They do.
The building.
When I was in
not the
University of
building,
Ibadan,
the books as well.
The books are
proudly
there.
say
In my
that
department,
we
for
had
instance,
the best university in Africa,
Yeah.
a university library in Africa.
Yes, in my own department also we have another resource center, we call it, which was donated by an individual. I will make sure we equip that place with the most recent journals, books, and then newspapers on a daily basis.
But they can get all that on the internet. They don't need to have the physical
No,
magazines
the journals,
and journals and books.
the journals are needed because for professor, for any lecturer at the university, you are encouraged to write papers and publish them in approved journals. So it's not just writing on the standard or something like this. No. Some that actually academically sound, so that students can use that one, make reference to it.
Okay.
So that's what I stand there for.
Those journals are available, and I think a lot of the universities are going e-library, such that you have electronic databases that the students can. We were recently at ABU, for example. MTN had given them a virtual library, lots of computers, and that students can actually go on and log in and and get information that you would normally get in a physical environment. Talking about accreditation, we just recently got accredited for an innovative enterprise institution, and it took about a year for us to go through that process. But believe you me, in that time, we could not even breathe to anybody to say we have a school. You can't advertise, you can't enroll anybody until Professor Rukayat's letter actually hits your hand. You go and you collect it, and it's aha. So, and that is even the temporary accreditation. Now, what's going to happen is they will come back a year after we've been in operation and make sure that some of the things that we were supposed to put in place, we put in place.
Actually.
And then they'll give us final accreditation. And I think that's what's going on with the Abuja situation, where they cannot get final accreditation because some things that they were supposed to work on have not been done. And I don't think it's an impossible situation. Worst case scenario, if I were king for a day, what I probably would do is, rather than let these students languish for so long, I would put them in schools that have accredited programs. Let them take exams. Let those schools place them in whatever year their examination scores put them, and let them graduate, because 8 years is a long time, and do not know whether you're going to get a degree or not.
Okay.
So if Abuja can't fix it, then let's help these children.
Send them to other medical schools?
That's what I would do.
Okay. Let me quickly take a couple of things. We have to begin to wrap up now. Some of the things that's coming from people online. We've got a tweet here that says from Greg. He says, what will it take the government to make the public schools as interesting as private schools, or as good as private schools? Are individuals who are setting up private schools richer than government?
You'll be amazed what the private schools are doing, which public schools will just not work on. So they have to run these schools as you run a business.
And is that a good way to run an education institution?
If you don't do that, then you are failing, because you have to monitor the productivity of your teachers and lecturers, monitor very closely. Make sure that what they are teaching are very, very good for, and again, what is actually need to be taught. And again, the quality of the students also. It's not just, you don't take no exam, okay, you are a teacher, I know him, give me $1, give him something for him to pass the exam. That's what I mean by running,
Okay,
as a business.
And that's the way universities should be run, whether
That's how it
it's
should be
public
run.
or
Make
private.
sure that, don't say because I know ABC, just take him or her if it's not qualified. Just like I'm mentioning this tertiary admission program, when you have to get, the person who got 1% will be admitted to a school where you want productivity. Down the road, what happens? Put in any market. And what's going to happen in that market is that is what to put in that's going to get from there. I'm talking about growth in Nigeria. It's affecting it. Who knows how many of that particular student we infect in the development? Talking about the whole system, everything in this country, that is where it all starts from.
Okay.
So you have to run it as run real business.
Real business. Okay, Prof. Jacob said, while I agree on the contributions of the panelists, we must realize that we're not all dull. I work in finance, and I have seen foreigners come into this country for plum jobs, and we have to teach them how to do it.
Well, I don't think that we said that we're all dumb. In fact, I think there are, first of all, when we go overseas, last U.S. census, Nigerians are the most educated immigrants in the U.S., undoubtedly. So we're not
I got that
dumb.
right up.
So we're not dumb, but we're dumbing down our children.
That's right.
So it's all well and good for Jacob, and it's all well and good for us that are sitting here. But what about our children? I'm working with a group of young people, and they are some of the brightest minds. These are Nigerians. The average age is about 35-ish. And they are bright, and they are quick, and they are looking for ways to solve Nigerian problems without any push or any help from the government. So yes, there are, we have some Nigerians building learning management systems that far surpass what's on the market in the U.S. These are Nigerians doing that in this country. When all I needed to do was, guys, this is what I want. the LMS needs to look like this, be able to do this, that, and the other within 1 week.